I'm so funny. I'm uploading a TikTok. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my personal stats and what I did in the past 4 years at high school to get accepted into the #1 public university of the nation, UCLA. And no, Berkeley is not #1. Period. It's not. Something I do want to say is that UCLA is the most applied to UC. And I hope that doesn't discourage anybody. I know competition is like out of the roof, very hard. You're competing with, this year was 109,000 applicants. But that does not mean it's impossible. You do not have to have the perfect grades or have the perfect SAT score or spend hundreds of hours volunteering. All those things would be good and it would just better your chance into getting in. But I'm going to be talking about my SAT scores, my stats, and what I did. And I don't have the perfect grades, nor the perfect SAT, nor the perfect, application or resume of extracurriculars. I first want to talk about grades. I took a total of 11 AP classes. I didn't take any freshman year. I took 1 sophomore year, 4 junior year, and 6 senior year. I always had a 4.0 or above. And I had straight A's all the way until senior year when I got my first B. I actually got 2 B's. I know. I'm so embarrassed. I got 2 B's. I got a B in Calc and a B in physics. Oh, that's so sad. You don't want to bombard yourself with all these AP classes if you yourself are not capable of doing them. I like the way I did it. I took one and I really liked, studying, you could say. I preferred my studies over my social life. So for me, it wasn't a challenge to, jump from 1 AP class to 4 or 4 to 6. I genuinely enjoy learning and I enjoyed challenging myself. So if you know that you don't like doing that or you're a procrastinator, then you know what you can handle and don't listen to anybody otherwise. You need to know yourself. Your teachers can tell you, yeah, take this AP class, yeah, take it. Or they could discourage you, like mine did, and tell you to not take 6 AP classes. But you yourself, you know what you're capable of, and you know your bad habits and your good habits. So just keep that in mind. And now going into my SAT, this is the most embarrassing thing ever. Like, with a super score, I barely got a 1200, and that is so, I expected myself to have a high SAT score, but I didn't. And that's completely my fault. I spent so much money taking the exams. I think I took the test 4 times and I spent over $100 just on buying practice prep books, and it's my fault because I didn't prep for that exam. But I still got into UCLA, so I'm a prime example that you don't need the perfect SAT score. I know some of my friends that have 1,300, they didn't even get into other UCs. So sometimes it's not even about your application or how strong it is or how strong your stats are. It just depends on how well-rounded you are as a student, because at the end of the day, you are not just a student. You are a human, you're a teen, and you like to do stuff on your free time. So it matters not, it matters how you do as a student, but what you do with your free time. Colleges aren't going to want a kid that has the perfect SAT, kind of good grades, and no extracurriculars. They want you to be a well-rounded student overall. So with that being said, I'm going to go into my extracurriculars. So I played 4 sports, and I was never committed 4 years with one. I played 2 years volleyball. I did it freshman year, sophomore year, and then freshman year I did track. Sophomore year I did volleyball and swim. Junior year, I just did cross country, and then senior year, I'm just doing swim. Well, not anymore because of quarantine, but I could put everything. I'm going to put, the classes I took freshman year all the way to senior year. I'm going to talk about all my clubs in the description box. I just don't want this video to be super long. I was a part of, 7 to 10 clubs throughout my entire 4 years. It was never just senior year I took, I was a part of 10 clubs. And I try to be officer for, several different clubs. I think I was treasurer and secretary for 6 different clubs, and I also created my own club. Well, I didn't create it. I brought back a club on my campus. It was an extension of Rotary, and it's called Interact on high school level. So I feel that really was a shine. It stood me out compared to my high school peers, because Rotary is already an established organization throughout the entire nation, or I think even globally. and bringing it back at a high school level and like bringing students more involved with the community is something really, like, it's a standout. It's something really it's something outstanding, you could say, because you're not only talking about, like, you know, creating a club, being like participating in school, but you're uniting your community as well. And that's what universities want to see. Being a part of so many different clubs, I got a lot of volunteer hours under my belt, but I wanted something that showed commitment. So just those little 4-hour volunteer sessions once a month wasn't enough for me personally. I knew I wanted to volunteer into an organization where I would do it weekly. So a couple things I did is I volunteered at my community animal shelter. I also volunteered at my community hospice center, which is where I would visit terminal ill patients and, you know, visit them, talk to them, read to them, listen to them. And that was also something really, really important, I feel like, in my application. I also volunteered at a surgical center called Surgical Artistry, and I went twice a week, in total 4 hours a week, and I did that for my entire senior year because I personally wanted to be a plastic surgeon, so I volunteered at a plastic surgical center. It shows that I'm spending time in the medical field and I'm, you know, putting time into my passion and really learning about the medical field and medical terminology, which is what I did. And so with that being said, it shows that I'm volunteering in high school and outside of high school, and I'm doing it on my own time. It shows that because I was involved in so many different things, that I spent my extra time caring for my community and my future, not like sitting at home playing video games, you know, playing the piano, whatever. I strongly believe that your PIQs are what make or break your application. I mean, you could have a good SAT and GPA, but if you don't have some good PIQs that show who you really are, I mean, they kind of put you at the bottom of the list. At the end of the day, the readers are they have to read through so many essays, and if you don't stand out with your PIQs or your volunteering, then you're at the bottom of the pile. If you are applying to a top competitive college, like university, like Berkeley, you know, UCLA or Ivy Leagues, everyone is top of their school, everyone has good grades, everyone has a good SAT score. So it really, really matters about your extracurriculars and your PIQs. I'm not going to be reading my PIQs because I feel like that's a whole video within itself. So if you guys would like that, I'm down to do it. So some tips or some like heads up on the application is that when you are inserting your grades, you could have an A+ or an A-, but once you put it in the application, it goes in as an A, a straight A, no plus, no minus. So, you know, you take that how you want it. Also, with your grades, there is an additional box. So say you got a B or a C, and you know, what if it's not your fault? And what if you had a new teacher? Or what if they lost your test and they didn't care for you to make it up? Whatever, there's a lot of situations, and I like that the UC system gives you an opportunity for you to voice that situation. You know, the readers can't read your mind and they don't know who you are, so you really need to talk about every single situation, especially if you got a B and it wasn't necessarily your fault. To look at the application beforehand, especially seniors. I know that the UC application is pushed out August 1st. That's when you can open it. That's when you can check out like all the stuff you need to put in, all your information, the PIQs, and you could submit it after October 1st, something like that. So, or November 1st, sorry. So that is your opportunity, not only just to put your information that's so like miscellaneous, but to look at the PIQs and, you know, start like knowing what you're gonna write. I know this is my thing. Oh my god, I'm such a bad student, I swear. I did not write my essays until 3 days before they were due. Don't ever do that. This is like literally your future. Do not. I don't know why I waited this long. It was Thanksgiving, because I think Thanksgiving was like the 28th this year. I was in my mom's car in the garage writing my essay while my entire family was eating bomb ass food, and my dumbass was here in the car because I waited that long. So don't be like me, please, please. That's my number one advice. So that is how I got into UCLA. I hope this video helped for any aspiring Bruins. That's me. I'm a Bruin. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment or DM me. I seriously want to help anyone who I possibly can. And I hope that my SAT score inspired you guys and motivated you to keep on going, to push hard, to study hard, and to apply to, you know, top competitive schools or any school you want to go to. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Mwah.